This is the 2024 GMC Yukon XL. It's the SLT trim level that we're going to be taking a look at today. And in today's Vehicle Visionary video, I'm going to give you the ultimate tour. Hey everybody, it's Tom from Vehicle Visionary. I hope you're having a great day. I borrowed this model from my friends at Morgan Buick GMC here in Shreveport, Louisiana. If you want to know more about this particular model, check out the link down in the description of the video. And the advantage to the XL version of the Yukon, well, pretty self-explanatory, I would think, because it gives you a little bit of extra space, well, literally everywhere. Towing capacity is good as well, and I'll give you all those numbers. Now, one thing I'm going to do later in the video that might be a little different from what you're used to seeing, I'm going to give you the cargo capacity, but not in cubic feet. I'm going to give you something more usable, but for the time being, let's start here on the front end with all of the LED lighting. LED headlights, LED daytime running lights. Yes, I'm going to do this in one take. And LED fog lights. Don't have those on down there on the lower portion of the bumper, but they are LED. The GMC logo shining brightly here in red on the front end. Now there is a little bit of chrome on the vehicle. Tell me what you think about that. I've had a lot of people tell me that chrome is antiquated. Tell me what your thoughts are. Now you will find a front camera. However, you won't, for those of you who watch me regularly, I won't be demonstrating a front camera washer. But you do have the front camera anyway. So, this is a two-wheel drive model. When you get two-wheel drive with a Yukon, that means rear-wheel drive. That's good for towing. You can get these in four-wheel drive if you so desire to do so. You will find the affixed assist steps right there. They're not the power version, but obviously that's available if you want it. These are a little bit less expensive, still just as effective. Turn signal indicators built into the power adjustable side view mirrors. They're also power folding. And in case you want to see the power folding side view mirrors in action, I'm just going to push this button right here for demonstration purposes. There you go, they fold. Now there are settings, or is a setting within the infotainment screen that will allow that to happen. When you walk away from the vehicle, you lock it and walk away. So there you go. And here on the door handles, the buttons right here, that's called passive entry. And for you parents out there, or maybe anybody out there that might own one of these, maybe with your teenagers, I don't know. You also have the button right here on the rear door. And why is that advantageous? Because if you're going to be coming to the rear seating area first, you can lock or unlock all four doors right there. Nice large windows. It's one thing that's nice about this vehicle being as big as it is, easy to see out of. And you do have the very clean look here on the rear window. I know a lot of people don't notice this, but I'm going to show it anyway. You don't see the rear window wiper exposed right here. Just really cleans things up, makes things look nice. It's concealed away right here within the rear roof spoiler. And let's say that you came back here and this rear tailgate, power tailgate, doesn't open no matter what you do. I like to show this because it happens. And sometimes people go to great lengths trying to figure out what's going on, when most likely the solution to the problem is found right up here on the upper console. And right here, it's the dial that you have. So that's set to max. You also have 3/4, and it can be set to off. So if it's not opening, that's the first thing I would check. Now, I did mention earlier that this is a rear-wheel drive vehicle. Let's talk about tire and wheel size. If you ever see the numbers on the side of the tire and wonder what they mean, well, in this case, the 275 represents the width. And you're going to have a 60. That's the size of the sidewall, a 60 series sidewall. And then there will be a 20 after that. It'll say R20, which represents the rim. These are 20-inch rims. And for those of you who are not fans of turbocharged engines, this is a naturally aspirated option, the 5.3-liter V8. It makes 355 horsepower. The torque numbers come in at 383. It's mated to a 10-speed automatic transmission. And how about the MPGs? If I don't say what they are or show you, somebody is going to ask. So I might as well show them. Here they are. 15 city, 20 highway, 17 combined, 5.9 gallons of gas per every 100 miles driven. And if you're curious about gas tank size, it is capless fuel fill, kind of hard to see here because of the lighting, but you do have a 28-gallon gas tank. And a quick look at the remote. We'll take advantage of the bright Louisiana sunshine right here and show you what all is there. You can see everything, including remote start. Now you can use the remote to open the tailgate back here. You can use the button that is located in this area right here. I showed you the interior option earlier, or let's see if I can get this to work right here. We also have the hands-free feature right there. So quite a bit going on. You can tow up to 8,400 pounds. There is a spare tire located underneath the vehicle, and more space within the floor right here. You can just raise the floor up out of the way. There are the tools to change a tire if you ever need to. This does conveniently get up and out of the way. Before we get too much further, as we work our way through the functionality back here, I'm going to give you the cargo capacity in inches, like I said earlier, instead of cubic feet. The width of the opening back here is going to be 47 inches, and if you measure from the floor to where the door opens right here, that's going to be about 33.5 inches. That will jump to roughly 34 inches when you get into the interior, and the roof line raises just a little bit in that area. And from where the door shuts right here to the back of the third row of the seats, we're looking at 34 inches of depth. Now, you can lower the third row or raise the seat backs back up using these switches. You can see the arrows right there. You might wonder about why you only see the up arrow on this side but not over here. Well, you can only lower the seats in the middle row with that button. You'll have to manually put those back in place. And how about when we lower the middle row? In fact, I'll show you how this works right here. If you measure to the back of the middle row of seats from right here, we're looking at 65 inches. And then when you measure all the way to the front seats, at least where they're set right now, we're looking at 104 inches. So it does increase quite a bit from that point. Now, one thing to keep in mind here is that's going to vary a little bit depending on where the front seats are located. Now, one thing that I do want you to know about here, notice I'm holding down these switches right here. If you let go of those switches, the seats will stop moving. So it's not a one-touch function. Notice I had to put my finger back on right there. Not a knock on GMC where that's concerned, but just something to be aware of. And we'll take a look into the rear seating area. Starting with the door panels here, it does seem to be pretty comfortable, even if I put my elbow up there and kind of press down on it just a little bit. It does seem to be well padded. Quite a bit of space here for storage options. This front area on the lower door bin, nice bottle or cup holder. A little bit of space back here as well as in this upper section right here. Now, when it comes to gaining access to the third row, could use the pass-through right there, but it's even easier to move these seats back and forth. Now, the seats do move up quite a bit. That's what this lever is for. This lever that says ×2 on it, well, what happens? We'll pull on that one time, and we'll pull up on it a second time. That gets the seat up and out of the way, making it very easy to gain access to the third row of seating. Now you can see with where this seat is set, plenty of leg space. There is the pass-through right there where I can stretch my legs out if I want to a little bit. That helps. But what happens when the seat is all the way back? How much space is back here? Well, still plenty of space. I also have plenty of headroom. At 5'10", I'm very comfortable back here. Somebody over 6 feet could accomplish the same thing. Everybody has their own air conditioning vents, so that is a nice feature. And then right here, we're going to find a couple of cup holders, one on each side, and then a little bit of space there for snacks or whatever anybody wants to put right there, and obviously a USB option as well. Now, when it comes to getting out of this rear seating area, what happens if somebody doesn't want to use the pass-through? Well, that's what this button is for right here. So, push that button one time. I will push it a second time. Get that to work. There we go. And the seat gets up and out of the way. And there are storage pockets on the back of the front seats, more cup holders right here, and the command center of sorts where middle row seat passengers control fan speed and temperature. Also, you have heated seats on these middle row seats, a couple of USB options, and a power outlet down there, as you can see. Now, you might notice I haven't said anything about a sunroof. That's because this model doesn't have one. In case you were curious about that, we'll try not to blow anybody away. I've got the air running right now, but obviously a couple more air conditioning vents right here, as well as the option for some hangers right here. There's gonna be a couple of those throughout the interior as well. And for those who are curious about the price, well, Morgan Buick GMC has added a few things here. The base price before the additions was $72,795. And you might think, uh-oh, it went way up. Well, not really that much. So you can see right here what has been added, and right down here, you can see the price, $73,579.95. If you need that extra 95 cents and you come to buy this model, let me know. I'll give it to you as a gift, I promise. If that's what you need to get over the hump. Let's see what else you get for the price. I showed you what's on the sticker right there. Let's talk about what else is here. Obviously, basically the same setup we saw with the rear doors here with the front doors. Starting with the passenger side, they are power seats and heated and ventilated. Also some space here on the side of the center console. Now, one thing that separates the Yukon from the Sierra trucks is you don't have the upper glove box. Should GMC add that? Tell them down in the comments. They do read your comments on some of these videos. I guarantee you that's how they're making decisions on what they change in the future. Here is the gloveless glove box. I never find any gloves in glove boxes, but they're called glove boxes. Do you put gloves in your glove boxes? I'm curious to know. And we'll close the door here to get rid of some of that traffic noise out there. We'll find quite a bit going on here. Here we have some USB options and another 12 volt. Your wireless charging pad is down there, as well as the cup holders. Now, this is not the power console, the power sliding center console. That option is not here, in case you were wondering. If you ever look into one of these Yukons and you want to know, here's how you know. That area right there is where the button would be. So that's not here, in case you were curious. But you still have plenty of space with this center console. Plenty of real estate to use as an armrest. There's also the little tray that is removable right here. More connectivity options and a load of space. And we took a look, to a degree, the driver's side door panel earlier when we talked about how you control the power folding side view mirrors right there. But what else is here? Well, you're going to find seat memory right here, and obviously the controls for the windows and controlling your side view mirrors. You know what all is there. Driving modes here, controls for the headlights and fog lights and all that good stuff right there. Some of your safety features here. You'll also find the control for your power adjustable steering wheel. Tilt and telescopically adjustable. That's always a nice thing to see. And you'll find the graphics here. I know a lot of people don't really care about that, but you know what? It's here. I might as well show it to you. It's part of what you're paying for. So we will fire things up here with the button on the dash to start the engine. In fact, let me turn the air down a little bit for you there so we can help that out. Quite a bit going on here with the driver's display. Now, if you don't like what you see right there, you can arrow over. We'll find out where we need to be. Just take just a second here. We will keep moving over until we get to display layout. So here's the thing. You have, first of all, you can select display layout, and there are a couple of pre-programmed options right there. So if you wanted to go, for example, with progressive, you can do that. You also have digital clean. There's a couple of different options there. Or you can customize each section if you want to. Left side, right side. Lower gauges, you can see what all is here, and you get to a certain point and say to yourself, you know what, I really don't like the way that looks. I want to reset everything. There's reset to defaults. You can even get rid of the lightness of your Yukon right there if you want to. Some people like that. I've had some people ask about that in the past. Steering wheel mounted controls here. You have your adaptive cruise control and all that great stuff here. All those great features are here. You can control the functionality of the radio on the rear of the steering wheel. Let's see if I can give you a look at those controls. They're the same on both sides. One for volume, one for station selection. And then you control your windshield wipers and the rear window wiper right here. So pretty simple, pretty self-explanatory. The one thing that I get some mixed reactions on when it comes to the comment section from some of my viewers is they either do or don't like, there's typically no middle ground, the push button shifter right here. What do you think about that? Is that something that should be different? I know with some of the vehicles now, some of the trucks, the Sierras, you have a shifter right here on the 1500s, on the 2500s. You just have a good old-fashioned column shifter. What do you like? What do you prefer? And you do have Google Assistant here. Now, I'm not going to demonstrate that so that I don't set off devices in your homes. Yes, that has happened in the past, believe it or not. That's just the way it goes sometimes. So I'm not going to do that. I'm going to be nice and not give you a hard time, although I could have some fun with some of you on that. Wireless connectivity for your phone. You can see everything that you have here. You got all kinds of trailering information. You can test your lights and do all kinds of different things. There's a lot going on there. You can pair your phone wirelessly. You have Google Maps right there, and you can go back very easily to this screen. Let's see how many cameras you have on this particular model. Well, you have the overhead view, and you have a couple of different options with your front and rear cameras. We also have the overhead view. And when you notice those two dots right there, you see one's grayed out and one's orange. Well, that just means you have two different views. You also have two different views with your side view mirror cameras. There's a lot going on here. Easy to back up to a trailer if you need to. You can have your trajectory lines if you so desire. There's a lot going on here. Makes it super easy. Very clear picture, by the way. And we'll go over here and take a look at what else we have. On settings, there is a lot here. I'm not going to cover everything, but you can see what all you have right here. But the main area of attention that I want to give you is right here under vehicle. So you have buckle to drive. You can turn that off if you need to. I do encourage you to use your seatbelt when you're driving. But if you're in a situation where you're driving around in a parking lot or wherever you may be, maybe towing the top alcohol dragster back and forth to the starting line at the races, whatever it is, hey, you don't need your seatbelt when you do that. So there's a lot of different things. Buckle to drive, no big deal. Turn your rear seat reminder on or off if you want to. How about your collision detection systems? Alert type, automatic emergency braking, front pedestrian braking. I'm not going to tell you everything that's here because you can see it. Very easy to work with. Really simple. I like it. Now, one thing you might have noticed that wasn't up here, in fact, I'll give you a good look at the upper console right here. So you can see what all is there as far as your different features and functionality. You might notice there's no sunglass holder. That's actually right down here. Some of you might not have even known what that was for. That's what it is. You can put your sunglasses in there or anything else that will fit for that matter. There is the button for your emergency flashers if you need to use those. And like I said earlier, you have heated and ventilated seats. Now, we don't need heated seats today. Today is January 30th in Northwest Louisiana. Guess what? It's in the 70s today. It's nice and warm. I am so happy about that. A very warm day. A lot of you probably say, gee, I wish I was there to join in with you. A lot going on here. Very simple to use, however. One thing I would love to get your feedback on is when GMC redesigns these Yukons, what would you like to see or maybe not see? Curious to know. And one more thing I did want to make sure I covered. I heard a couple of you asking, what about driving modes? Well, here's what we have. There's sport mode. There's snow and ice. Some of you probably need that right there. Tow haul mode. And then you're going to have normal, and we start back at sport. Okay, we're going to get out on the road for our test drive. And one thing I mentioned, or forgot to mention earlier, I should say, is the fact that those side view mirrors, they also are heated. So a few extra features, or one extra feature at least, beyond what I mentioned earlier. And you know what? I'm going around some slower moving traffic, people driving a little under the speed limit here. No problem whatsoever. I'm hardly into the gas at all. I don't even think I'm at quarter throttle. I'm barely on the gas pedal. So no problem whatsoever getting around slower moving traffic. That's a good thing. Now, when it comes to driving, there's a good driving lesson in front of us as to what not to do. Don't fail to yield. Yeah, thankfully, one driver was paying attention when the other one wasn't. I just can't resist making a comment about that. But how about the ride quality? Well, you have premium ride suspension. So that means you're going to have a smooth ride quality, smoother than you might otherwise. It's not bad either way from what I've experienced in these Yukons. They have plenty of wheelbase, and a longer wheelbase vehicle tends to have a better ride. It soaks up the bumps better. It's just a better driving experience. Technology here, very easy to learn and use no matter what we're talking about where that's concerned. That's one thing I definitely have to give some kudos to. As far as GMC goes, any GM vehicle right now, as far as the new models go, the technology is super easy to deal with, and you don't have to do anything as far as navigation goes. You can use voice commands to set that up. You do have wireless compatibility for your cell phone. I don't think I mentioned that earlier in the video. Apple CarPlay and Android Auto are here. So you have a lot of great options and functionality depending on what you want to do or what you need to do. It's very easy to deal with. So, as far as the overall driving experience goes here, we definitely have an easy time dealing with this model. Now, it is big, I will say that, but remember, you have the cameras literally everywhere you need to look. So if you need to, you can definitely take a look around and see wherever you need to see. A very enjoyable vehicle to drive, plenty of space, plenty of cargo capacity, plenty of towing capacity. It's all here, no matter what you need. And that's the ultimate tour of the 2024 version of the GMC Yukon XL, at least for the SLT trim level. Tell me what you think. If you plan to buy one of these, what trim level do you want to buy? Will it be the SLT? What exterior, interior colors do you want? I'm always curious to know. I do want to say a special thanks to my friends at Morgan Buick GMC for loaning me this model for the day. And a special thanks to each and every one of you for being kind enough to give me the opportunity to give you a vision for your next vehicle. If you enjoyed this video, please be sure to hit the like button. That helps me out a lot. Make sure to subscribe so you don't miss any future videos. And if you would like to learn about additional vehicles you may wish to consider purchasing, check out the video that's on the screen right now, and I will see you there.